My girlfriend, 27F, of 5 years is waiting for me, 25 meters, to pop the question, but I'm having second thoughts about it because she's completely dependent on me for my income. She has lived with me for the past 2 years and I pay the rent and pay for most of the groceries, etc. I make 57k in an area with low cost of living, while she makes 23k and has a pretty big car payment. I feel like sometimes I'm fine with the setup we've got going on because I love her and really want to provide for her, but some days, when she's complaining about her job, it feels like I'm stuck playing either therapist, punching bag, or career counselor. I'm honestly fine with this occasionally, but it's really worn me down. Basically, she doesn't have any drive to find a better career. I really try to help her and say that she should take some loans out to go to school for something she wants to pursue, but she doesn't believe in herself or that she will ever make 25k a year. I know she could fucking do it if she only tried. Her long-term plan is basically to stash away money as long as she can before she hits some kind of tipping point where she'll be financially independent so she can quit her dead-end career. Those of you who have dealt with this situation before, how was it resolved? TL. Doctor, girlfriend is waiting to be married, so she doesn't have to worry about providing for herself. I feel like she's sometimes using me. Now for some of the advice from the comments. I think the right thing to do here is to have a conversation. Hey, I don't feel very good about the financial imbalance in this relationship. Sometimes I'm fine with it, sometimes I can't shake feelings that I'm being used. To keep moving forward in this relationship, I need to see you making stronger financial decisions for yourself. That's the number one thing holding me back here. You might even offer something like, I'm happy to cover a little bit more of your expenses for a month or two if that's what's necessary to deal with the disruption from switching jobs or something like that. I want you to have a job you feel fulfilled by and which pays you well. But I'm not willing to continue in the space we are in indefinitely. It's time for there to be plan. You say that her plan is to stash away money until she hits a tipping point, and that begs two questions which you are entitled to ask. 1. What's her tipping point number? 2. How much does she have stashed away already? Now from Tripigeril 13. Think long and hard about what kind of financial future you want in a marriage. Think about what kind of partner and financial dynamic you want. Sit her down and explain that you are hesitant about marriage because her behavior makes you question your financial compatibility. It seems that not only she leeches off you, but also has zero motivation and drive. Do you want that kind of partner? I hope not. So talk and insist on real change on her part before you even start thinking about proposing. It's important to clearly state the boundaries and expectations. Now for the next story. I think my boyfriend, 19, is cheating on me, 16, with another girl, 19, but I can't tell if I'm just crazy. Sorry this is so long, but there's so many details. My boyfriend, 19, and I, 16, are in a long distance relationship. He goes to college 30 minutes away, but he comes home on the weekends. We've been dating for a year. It's my first relationship, so I don't know 100% if the things I experience are normal. I have a feeling he's cheating on me because I saw a notification on his phone from a number named Jess, but he convinced me it was his aunt. I believed him because that makes much more sense to me than a random girl, but I was still suspicious. The next week, we were taking pictures on his Snapchat account, and when he went to send them to me, I saw Jess on his best friends list. I didn't say anything, but it did make me suspicious. So, I went on his Instagram and found he was following a Jess. Now, I don't like stalking, and I'd much rather confront him about this, but it's at the point in the relationship where I feel like I'm ready to leave. He has lied to me before about small stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if he lied about something big like cheating. She was private, but I saw that she was his age. Then, I went to her Twitter, which was linked in her Instagram bio, and wow, I saw a lot of interesting clues. First, she would tweet using his name a lot. Example, she tweeted my boyfriend's name is so good at beer, pong let me know how. She would also tweet how many more French boys will I fall in love with my boyfriend moved here from France when he was 10 years old. The last tweet that gave it away was a tweet from her friend that she retweeted. It said, "Jess when she leaves boyfriend's college after sleeping over in Mr. my boyfriend's last name, dorm room," and it was a gif of someone with their pants down running out of a building. Obviously, this was enough for me to believe it was him, but when I confronted him again, not only did he deny it, but he screamed at me. He told me I was crazy for stalking her, and that I'm jumping to conclusions. Honestly, after that fight, I feel like he might be right. It could have been anyone she was tweeting about. The last tweet though, it's too specific. My boyfriend's college is extremely small, so I don't think there's more than one person with his first and last name. He claims the only tweet about him is a beer pong one. He said the last one is about someone else, but again, his name is not very common. He said they're barely friends, that they played beer pong one time and hit it off, but that they are strictly friends. He said this is a different Jess from his Snapchat and texts, restating that this was in fact his aunt. He said it was a coincidence her name is also Jess, because his school is so small, and there's only 1 or 2 girls named Jess who go there, and he knew both of them. I had thought about it, and decided to break up with him. It was very recent. It was during his spring break, end of March. I knew that, because he was going on vacation, it would be easier to break up with him, because he'd be hundreds of miles away. However, when I broke up with him, he began blowing up my phone. He said he never cheated on me, and that I'm jumping to conclusions. He said not to break things off, just because of a few suspicions. I'm not gonna lie, my friends tell me he's probably cheating, but it scares me the way he begs for me to take him back. He even had his brother text me asking for me to reply to his texts. I didn't know what to do, so I took him back. I feel like this was the wrong decision, but I feel like there's a good chance I'm overreacting, despite the tweets. Even though I took him back, I still checked her Twitter, because it's the only way I felt I could know if something was going on. Lo and behold, she continued tweeting about him, or giving hints her tweets were about him. Then, she tweeted, "I feel so sad for the person I love the most who is too afraid to leave a bad relationship. I wish girls would stop preventing their boyfriends from leaving." I felt like this was about me, even though I'm only 16, and I feel like, if he wanted to leave, he could. What was I going to do? Well, yesterday I decided to take initiative and ask the girl if they were hooking up. It was a really last resort decision for me. I hate being the girl who has to ask another girl if her boyfriend is cheating, but he refuses to admit to it. It's hard for me to believe someone I care about so much would lie to the ends of the earth. Also, if he is cheating, why doesn't he accept it when I break up with him? Why would he actively choose to be in a commitment with someone when he could be free to hook up with whoever he wanted? When I asked her, I basically messaged her on Instagram and said, "Hey, my name is my name, and I'm dating my boyfriend's name. I noticed you guys are friends, but I've had a feeling there is something more between you two. I'm so sorry if this is coming on too strong, or if I'm incorrect in my assumption. I just don't really know what to do. So, girl to girl, is something going on?" She replied, "It's not really my place to tell you." And I said, "What does that mean? If there's nothing between you, it's not a big deal, haha, but just girl to girl, I need to know." And then she read it and didn't respond. Her reply was so suspicious, it made me feel like he was cheating. Later that day, he confronted me about contacting her. He said I was crazy, but that he understood why I did it. He said he'd do the same if he was suspicious. Despite this, I told him, "I have enough reason to believe you're cheating." He said something along the lines of, "What can I do to prove I'm not cheating on you?" I said, "Block her if you're not cheating." I also felt crazy asking her to block him, but her reply was too suspicious. And, if he wasn't cheating, why would she reply with that? Is she trying to make me feel like something is going on when it's not? After all, most of the evidence has been coming from her Twitter. And if he is cheating, then this gives me reason to believe he is. Either she's lying, or he is, and blocking her would prove to me that he only sees her as a friend. If he refuses to block her, maybe something is going on, or maybe it just proves I'm crazy, and I shouldn't force my boyfriend to block anyone. I don't know. I also knew she would tweet constantly about everything that happened in her life, so if he blocked her, she may tweet about it. Well, he blocked her and almost immediately, she tweeted about it. She tweeted, "How can you block someone right after telling them you love them?" And at that point, I felt like everything I said was true. I told him I know it's true that he's cheating. He then called me and texted me hundreds of times. He was saying she's crazy and she's framing him. He said she's a psycho and did this to all her exes and now he's her new victim. I genuinely believe he is cheating, but he is seemingly trying to gaslight me into believing he isn't. That's my theory, at least. It's been really hard and painful not trusting my boyfriend, and I feel so guilty for feeling like he's cheating, but the evidence is there. What do you guys think? Is he cheating? I'm so ready to break up with him, but I just want to ensure I'm not crazy and that other people believe he is cheating too. I feel like he could be cheating and gaslighting, but it makes more sense that he is telling the truth. Why would he be so against our breakup? TL. Doctor, my boyfriend claims he isn't cheating, but after doing my detective work, it seems like he is. My friends say he is gaslighting me into believing I'm crazy and controlling, but I can't help feeling like I am, and that I should stop accusing him. Should I leave? Now for the advice in the comments. He was lying and cheating from the start, and was banking on the fact that you trusted him and are too young to be involved in his life the way his other girl was. You are not crazy or controlling. He's incapable of being honest and is trying to manipulate you into believing more of his lies. Please just get him out of your life and don't let him near you or anyone you know. Now from Hinari. First of all, what kind of girl is that? It's no my place to tell you my ass. She is an asshole, and so he is too. Leave him, you're not crazy. Obviously he don't care about that girl and is using her maybe because of the distance, but he is lying and telling that you're the crazy girl who don't leave him. If there's no trust in a relationship, then there's no relationship at all. Now for the next story. I have hurt my girlfriend and I don't know how to help her. Me and my girlfriend have been together for 2.5 years and are both 29. The last year or so has been rocky to say the least. My girlfriend has struggled with not being able to see me very often due to COVID lockdowns. The last month has been particularly rough as we stopped talking for a few weeks due to the arguing. Every time my girlfriend would talk to me, she was just angry, so I figured we needed space to cool down. Then one day she starts messaging me telling me she is livid because I'm liking girls' inappropriate pictures on Instagram and that I'm probably doing it because we are not talking. This obviously annoyed me as I wondered what she was accusing me of. I'd never ever cheat on her or anything like that. I asked her whose pictures they are, but I guess she didn't want to say. She told me they popped up on her explore page and are provocative selfies that I shouldn't have liked. I told her how I like most friends' pictures on Instagram and that it's just a like. It's nothing deeper than that. She told me she felt I only like this particular girl's pictures when we argue, which isn't true, but she's looked through her pictures and come to her own conclusion there. She didn't listen to or believe me. She brought it up again over the following days. Then eventually we spoke about it like adults and I then agreed to not like any female friends' pictures in future, to not risk hurting her feelings. However, then, days later I ask her to send me a picture of herself, as I always do. She starts saying back quote, "But I don't have your favorite face / I'm not a model / my name is not." Insert Instagram girl's name. This obviously confirmed whose picture she'd seen, and that she's still pissed about it. The girl in question is my friend, and that's the only reason I liked her pics, and she likes mine too. She also happens to be a part-time model. She then asked me how seriously I took our relationship at the start, and she told me she feels insecure. I told her I've always been serious about her, and that she is more than enough for me, etc. Then she asked me if I was so serious, how come I liked Instagram girls' provocative body selfies when we first got together. She has seen that during the first 2 months of our relationship, over 2 years ago, I liked some selfies that she deems inappropriate, but she noticed that I stopped once she started following me. She told me that, after seeing the recent pics I'd liked, she naturally wanted to explore further, and so she scrolled down her page. Again, I told her a like is nothing, but I feel she will hold this over me. She says she hasn't been able to do anything as this has been occupying her mind. She feels the first 2 months of our relationship must have been a lie for me because of this, and she is adamant that if she didn't have Instagram I would've carried on liking these posts. What should I do here? Is there any point trying to reassure her? TL. Dr. Girlfriend saw my recent likes, dug deeper and found some from years ago, feels insecure and hurt. Now for the advice in the comments. 2 words. Retroactive. Jealousy. Check the retroactive jealousy subreddit and see if it fits. She might not have it, but her jealousy and responses to her jealousy seems to be extreme. She's making her insecurities your problem and she shouldn't. Read their perspectives and see if that's something you want to deal with for the rest of your life. You both might need counseling to help. Be kinder and more compassionate with each other if you do. Now from Anonymous Jana. It is very clear she has insecurities, and she is clearly on the wrong for bringing up something from the past that you have cleared already. Hope this helps, but just try to be patient. But if it comes to a point where she is not really being reasonable and always purposely causing arguments between you two and dragging down each other in the relationship, that is the time where you have to think for yourself if it is still worth it. I believe, and it looks like from your post, that you love her. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.